Yo, what's going on, everybody? Spikes you here, or Spikes and you. Look, why is Valorant so toxic? We're gonna talk about this right here. I saw a Reddit post and it said, it was a new player. It was like, hey, I'm a new player. Is this game toxic? He's asking about Valorant, and there's a whole bunch of responses and stuff like that, and got me thinking. It's like, yo, dude, there's a real reason why Valorant is toxic. There's a complete and utter reason why Valorant is toxic. By the way, your mama just came into my room and said that she wants the cookies back. No, so I had to throw some toxic stuff in there, right? Anyways, there's a real reason why Valorant's toxic, and we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about that. Now, maybe you won't like what I say, maybe you will, but I'm going to give the actual reason why Valorant is toxic, plain and simple. Now, basically, so I saw this comment on Reddit, and he was talking about, he came from Rocket League. He's like, hey, I played 10 games so far, and pretty much in every single game, there's been someone in there who's just super toxic for no reason, has some harsh words to say, etc., etc., etc. Typical Valorant type stuff. I imagine this person's probably very low elo, which definitely is not helping the situation, because we know the low elo people are definitely much worse at it. Not to say that higher elo people are any better in terms of toxicity, because they're just as toxic. Though thinking low elo, definitely you get a little bit more, so on a regular basis anyway. They just came over from Rocket League, they're on Valorant, and they're like, hey, is this game toxic? Because they've experienced toxicity in 10 games straight. And pretty much you look at some of the responses, and you'll see, oh, it's an online competitive 5v5 game. Of course it's toxic, right? Of course that's the answer that someone's going to give. It's probably going to be the most common, most thought of answer to give, right? But it doesn't really give any background, because that doesn't really answer why is it actually toxic though? Why is that? And we'll talk about that. You look at some other responses. So no games are meant to be toxic, players are. Find them in every competitive games, including Valorant. This is a more exact answer right there. That's a better answer. Of course, it's not the one that has the more votes on Reddit, right? Because Reddit is a toxic place to begin with anyway. Shh, don't tell anyone. No one knows that Reddit's super toxic regardless anyway, right? Bruh. Anyways, the real reason why Valorant is so toxic is more so to do with our society. That's just facts of the matter. Were games where 5v5s for competitive shooters like this always toxic? No, they weren't. Not even in the slightest bit. But do you know why games like these? Let me say this also. It's a Riot game, League of Legends, Valorant, both from the same company. We all know League of Legends is completely toxic, is all psh. And then so of course naturally they're going to create a game, a shooter game, and it's going to be toxic too. They're creating an MMORPG, right? Well, that one's going to turn out. But anyways, so that's neither here nor there. Where it really comes into play at is our society, and that's just how that works, because we live in a society that pretty much glorifies toxicity nowadays. And so games weren't always like this, and it really is. It comes down to the person. It's not the fact that it's a game. It's not the fact that it's a competitive game, anything like that. It comes down to the person. It comes down to the society that we currently live in, and it's just the fact that the society that we currently live in is just super toxic, and that's just how that one works out. And pretty much we live in a society that glorifies toxicity right now. Basically, we live in a society that puts toxicity on a pedestal, And so you have all these people, right? Matter of fact, I'll just read the response. I posted back onto it. I said, it's a competitive shooter and it's a Riot game. The same company that makes League of Legends. Anything Riot is going to be toxic. Were games such as these always toxic? No, not in the least. However, we live in a society that glorifies toxicity. Toxicity is literally put on a pedestal as if it's some sort of god. Pair this with the fact that a lot of people learn their values and develop their personalities. This is a real one. Develop their personalities from behind a screen on the internet nowadays. And you have a perfect recipe for people who feel comfortable saying things behind the screen because they know that they can hide behind it rather. That's just facts. That's basically what it comes on to. That's basically what it boils down to. I go further on to say one thing to know, however, all these people who are toxic for no reason, all these online games, they're all weak-minded. They're all entirely harmless, and they're all projecting their own insecurities. That's just the truth. That's just a fact. If that comment right there upsets you, then it's because you're exactly that person. Plain and simple. If that doesn't upset you, then you're probably just like, yeah, that's exactly what these people do. But if that comment right there upsets you, you're one of those three, or all three. Plain and simple. And that's not me being toxic. That's just me being an honest, logical thinking, call it how I see individual. You know, simple as that. And I go further on to say, at the end of the day, don't take them very seriously. Feel free to use the mute button if it gets out of hand or to a point that you just no longer want to deal with it. They feel strong when they're running their mouths. So let them run their mouths to the air or wall. They still feel strong talking to nobody, and you get peace of mind. It's a win-win. That was my response back and my recommendation to this individual who just started playing Valorant. But that pretty much sums up what everything that I was going to say right there in a nutshell. That's what it really comes down to in Valorant. It's not that it's a competitive game. It's not that it's a 5v5. It just boils down to the people that play the game now. And then they grew up behind a screen, comfortably saying things that they should not be saying, and not having any consequences for it. You know, they grew up, they got their core developing years from the internet behind the screen. They never got a slap in the face. They never, said something that's out of line, some like super like racist comment or like super like just really bad comment to someone's face and just get knocked out. That'll teach you real quick, They never had that. They were just behind the screen, so running their mouth, and they just get away with it because they're behind the screen. The cowards. Simple as that. That is why Valorant is so toxic. It's because you have a whole bunch of these people who come from that walk of life and who glorify like toxicity on both ends, male and females. I don't care. I'm not playing this whole man thing, this woman thing. Nah, get out of here with this. There's misogynists, there's misanders, there's toxicity on every form, shape, and everything on Valorant. So don't even try to come at me with this one-sided nonsense. Nah, they're all there. They're all there. And for any of y'all who are familiar with my content, y'all know that they're all there. Both men, both women. We ain't picking no sides here, bro. We ain't picking no sides. We're just telling it how it is. So all I can say, stop with the nonsense. Do better. But I can say that. And let's be honest, no one's actually going to do it because people love being toxic because they're behind the screen and because they have no repercussions because they're behind that screen so they can hide and they can cower and they can project their insecurities on people. But just going to choose Viper here. Toss some poison out real quick. But that's just that's how it is. So like if you really want to know the nitty-gritty of why Valorant's so toxic, that's it. Plain and simple. What can we do to combat it? Well, don't feed into it. Dude, these people only have power when you're giving them power. They only have power when you let them have power. If you're biting back to everything that they're saying, you know what I'm saying? If you're falling right into everything that they're saying, it's like, then yeah, they're going to keep having power, dude. These people are non-existent. Treat them as such. It's that simple. These people don't exist. They do not. They don't exist, bro. They are powerless. They are literally powerless unless you give them power, dude. They're all the exact same person. Every single one of them. They're all the exact same person. Just telling how it is. Anyways, that's what the real talk is on why Valorant's so toxic. So you can agree with it, you can disagree with it, but it is what it is. Much love. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the video. Check out the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all have a great day. Smile a little bit. Tell your mama that she's not getting them cookies back. And I'll holler at y'all. Much love.